What did I feel like made the States a backwards trip overall for me? Well, number one, it was a feeling of I had extremely outgrown everything that I was used to. For example, the car I was driving. Whenever I got in the car and I started driving around, I thought that I had surpassed myself that I was 2 years ago when I was driving that car. Not something that I thought I would have outgrown, but I felt that I was past the car when I got back in the car. I felt like that was a car for the old Austin. Austin's been getting chauffeured around the world. I haven't drove in 2 years. Now I feel like I've outgrown the car. The architecture, the way how the city, I've been to Buenos Aires, I've been to Romania, I've been to Poland, I've been to Bangkok, I've been to places in Africa, I've been like Kenya, I've been to Salvador Bahia, I've been many places, and I've seen buildings that look very significant, and that draws the entire energy of the city. If you ask me, the architecture draws the entire area of the city. And if you ask me, Dallas has a nice skyline, but when you really look at it, it's just a plain skyline. And after seeing all that I've been seeing, I've been exposed to, I feel like I had really outgrew that city as a whole. I think it wasn't even just American women. I think it was the U.S. as a whole. And I'm gonna tell you why here later, and not just Dallas, but Dallas for sure. I had to outgrew. Number three, I had to outgrew English. I don't only speak English now. I speak Portuguese, I speak Spanish, and English. And to be around people that only speak English, because you guys know for the most part, Americans that live in America, like if you were born in America, more than likely, probably 90% of y'all only speak English. I can't relate with y'all. People that only speak English, I can only intellectually connect with them so much. That does not mean they need to speak Spanish in order for me to connect with them. But what learning another language and self-improving yourself does, a lot of people back home had not did. I outgrew the music, the degenerate music that they go play at clubs. See, guys, when we go to Latin America and Africa, they play stuff that you can actually dance to. When you get in the Uber out here, you can actually have a good time just riding in the car. When you walk around the malls, you have a good time just being present. The music doesn't make you cringe when you hear it. Nowadays, in the States, whenever you hear music that they play in public places, it makes you cringe. At least for me, the stuff that I hear that the singers are talking about in songs is not appropriate for public. It's actually not appropriate at all. It's very stupid and ignorant and very low IQ. Most importantly, the bullshit that people put you through in the States, I've grown past it significantly. People are telling me, "Oh, Austin, you don't have any game. That's why the girls don't text you back." Or you did this wrong, you did that wrong. My thing is this: I've been to too many play. Before I used to play along with the game somewhat. Obviously, I didn't play with them fully because I couldn't stand it. That's why I left. But I've been to too many places, like here in Paraguay, where the thing is just simple. I've been walking around the mall all day, just getting back on my feet. Getting my social aspect back. And I think I'm 100% back. Like it feels like nothing ever happened. Because here, I wish I would have recorded, but I'm talking to these girls for personal interest and not content. But I'll try to get some on video next time. Where I'm just walking up and I just say hello, how are you? They say good, how are you? They smile. Their energy is very inviting. They don't give you because in the States when I was there, if a chick likes you, she's doing everything to not show you that. Here in Paraguay, it's the complete opposite. Like it's literally the fucking day and night opposite. I'll tell you guys a story. I was just at the mall with Jason. Jason's here, right? And there we went to Forever 21 because there was a bunch of chicks in Forever 21. So we went in there and we're just walking around. And you guys know I do the double take where I look behind me. I'm watching the room at all times. So I see this one chick sifting through the clothes, and we locked eyes. And the way I could tell by how she looked at me, she was interested. So I spoke. And I said hello, which is hola in Spanish, right? Now, what happens when we say hola? What happens when we say hello in Texas? You guys see many times on video, we pretty much just got ignored. Pretty much just walk right past us, or they speak back to you. Sorry, it's rainforest rain. They speak back to you, but it's not in the most inviting and pleasant way. It doesn't make you want to continue talking to them. Back to the story. I said, hello, how are you doing? She said, I'm doing good, and you? I walked up and I asked her what her name was. Same lines I was doing in the States. I asked her what her name was. She told me my name, and she said, and what's your name? You see how she's reciprocating what I'm asking her, showing interest, right? But you got dudes in the comments on the last video that's saying you need to say something a little more clever than what's your name. I don't fucking know you. What's wrong with me asking what your name is? So she told me what her name was, and when I shook her hand, this is a little test that I do. I'll hold their hand and I'll kind of grab it a little tighter to show them that I'm trying to hold it for longer than a normal handshake. And she didn't let go, so I pointed it out. By the way, I never shook any woman's hand in the United States like that. We didn't even get to the point where I could shake her hand. We didn't get to that point. But just by the way. So anyway, I told her, I was like, oh, you don't want to let go of my hand? And she's like, no, I want to keep it. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get your number so we can keep talking later. Let me get your number. That you see how easy that is, right? Because the reason I hold their hand is for obvious. We might have to go inside. The reason I hold their hand is for obvious reasons. Because if she's not into you and you hold her hand, she's gonna be like, oh no. And then I know all I need to know. Then I'll wrap up the conversation. Go. Here, I hold her hand. She holds it. I pointed out that I noticed that she's holding the hand. And she confirms, no, I want to keep holding your hand. So I follow up with that. We're gonna have to go inside. I follow up with that by saying, let me get your number so we can talk later. Then I continue to talk to her. She asked where I was from. I asked where she was from. She's from here. And then she held my hand again before I walked off and smiled. That simple. There was no pickup lines needed, no game. This game shit, I don't get it. See how easy it is to meet women. And it's not just Paraguay where it's that easy. This is Africa. This is Latin America. This is Eastern Europe. The girl I told you I met in Romania. I literally just walked up to her and introduced myself. Went from there. I introduced myself here in the United States. Where does it go? It's not my problem. I'm not there anymore. But I'm just here to compare and contrast with you guys. So that bullshit of you don't have game. When she gets your number and she doesn't text back, do this. It's gonna take you this many weeks. After the date, wait this many minutes to respond to her text. Do this. Rule number 2, rule number 3. Listen, I've outgrown that bullshit. So when I hear shit like that, I look at people in the United States as if they are an immature society. Because they are. They are an immature society. I told you guys before, compare a 19-year-old, the mind that a 19-year-old has is the mind that a 9-year-old has in another country. Meaning that the 9-year-old in Brazil is just as intelligent as the 19-year-old in the United States. That's how immature we are. And if you guys have been outside the country, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We're all adults. We don't. There's no reason for us to play the games that we had to play just to get along and socialize. And I'm gonna get further into the step-by-step process of what was going on. So to say that, I'm saying I outgrew the culture. I'm above the culture now. I'm above that. I'm above the games. You can call me arrogant. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. I really outgrew that. I am actually above the U.S. culture when it comes to an intellectual level. I'm above that mentality. I don't play games. I don't have time for games. I'm not even good at fucking football. I don't even watch football. What makes you think I play games? Okay. I found some women attractive in the States, but again, because of me outgrowing that culture, I felt I had come too far. And honestly, yes, I am above it. And honestly, if you guys travel and you guys actually go live in these places like I have, and you guys experience what it's like to actually be an expat in another country where people grow up and they do things completely different, you will understand how much more logical and how much more happy you will be in another culture. And you will feel like you have outgrown that culture in the United States as well. Some people say it's different than in every other state. Everybody I know that's been to more states than I have says the same thing. It's not different. The complaints that you hear me complain about is the same. It might be slightly better, but it's not worth writing a book about. It's not worth getting a passport if you needed one. If Georgia was another country, I don't think it'd be worth getting a passport to go to if we're looking for a social life compared to what you can get if you come to Latin America or Africa or Eastern Europe or even Southeast Asia that I've been to. I don't think it's worth it.